I don't care. That's not a thought in my mind. I'm so excited for my own opportunity and this team's opportunity to get a chance to head to Atlanta and compete in the game that everybody that plays in this league wants to compete in. And the guys in that locker room, we know how hard we've worked to get to this point, and you're just excited for this opportunity. You're blessed. You're grateful for it. For me, it's easy, but for all of us in that locker room, you try not to take it for granted. You try to enjoy each and every moment of this process and remembering the journey throughout this season, what it took to get here.
Jason, we hear different guys like Tom talking to Chris Hogan in the locker room saying we're not talented enough, too old. Julian telling Tom on the sidelines with the cameras around, you're too old. So it seems like there's a feeling of disrespect. Is that how you guys feel, that there's not enough respect on the outside, or are you guys just creating some kind of fun narrative for the media to
You'd have to, I guess, specifically ask that question to those guys that said it. But I think whenever you're doing something and you're having some success at it and you're attaining a certain level of success, there's always going to be naysayers. And that just doesn't go for football. That's anything you're doing in life. You're always going to have somebody that's saying something about you in a negative form or fashion. I think for each and every individual, you try to use that to push you, to motivate you, whether it really meant something to you, whether it didn't, it's still something that you heard, something that you read, and I think it may be a little bit of extra motivation, but at the end of the day, like I said last week, I mean, you're in the AFC Championship game. Now we're in the Super Bowl. There's not much more motivation you're going to get from any outside influence at this point.
Jason, just because you've had a chance to see it up close this year, what have you noticed about the relationship between Tom and Julian?
You got two fiery guys. I think it's fun to watch. You see two guys that are the ultimate competitor. How hard they both compete in practice. You see the bromance at times. You see the fiery, the looks they give each other sometimes of if someone messes up, and just that look of not disappointment, of just like get it together. And I think it's almost like brothers. You see them. They've probably played together for so long. But as a defender, it's so fun to go against in practice because you're not getting a better look than that. Tom at quarterback, Jules in the slot or wherever he's lined up at. Two of his games, really, really good combinations who have been doing it for numerous years. So for me as a football fan, as a corner, it's a lot of fun to compete against those two guys.
Jason, have you noticed things as the season's gone on have changed or ramped up intensity-wise? You know, because you're just kind of going through this for the first time. Have you noticed the different demeanor on the team of guys like Brady, Edelman, and things like that as you go about?
I can't say that. I think from the beginning to the end, guys come out there and we compete. And that's one thing I think we talk about all the time, how important practice is. And whether it was OTAs, training camp, practices throughout the regular season, guys are always fired up. And like I said, when the playoffs first started, I think it ramps up a level just because of the stakes and what's going on. If you don't win the next game, you don't get a chance to compete in another game after that. So I definitely think once the regular season ends, everybody's a little bit more ramped up, a little bit more antsy, a little bit more ready to go because you know you need that level of sense of urgency and you got to be ready to go because you're literally playing in the game on Sunday for the opportunity to come into work on Monday.
And what are you looking forward to this coming week? Is there anything like, wow, can't wait to see what the opening night media night is like, or you know?
Everything. For me, this will be my fifth Super Bowl that I'm attending, and this is the first time that I get to go inside. So for me, hearing so many stories about it from my brother, I'd usually go down Tuesday of when he went down and catch up with him on his off day. We'd go eat and just hang out whenever he had off time throughout the course of the week. And hearing so much about it, being a part of it, for me, I'm extremely excited of everything that's on the itinerary just because I've heard about it. I feel like from the outside looking in, I've been looking through the window looking at it, and now I get an opportunity to be a part of it. So with this group of guys, for me in year 10 to get a chance to take on this challenge and to still be playing at this point, I'm just excited and grateful for each and everything that's coming.
Jason, how can his experiences maybe help you, and maybe he can tell you kind of what to expect because it will be a wild week for you?
I think him along with a lot of guys in this locker room. You know, there's a lot of different guys that have gone through this process. And obviously, when you get to Sunday, whatever team plays better is going to be the team that wins. Experience, none of that matters on game day. I think some of that experience kicks in when you're talking about traveling, when you're talking about, hey, what to bring, hey, what's media night like, what's the process when we get down there, how do you handle family, different things of that nature. I think there's numerous guys, from Dev to Hightower, Jules, Tom, Grant, guys that have been multiple times that I think those logistics are guys that you can go talk to and get a better understanding of how everything works.
Jason, what have you noticed now that you're here and heading to a Super Bowl with this team that is different about the Patriots? Like, what sticks with you from this year that you maybe thought about from the outside or even heard from Devin that's now gotten reinforced to you since you've been here?
I don't think there's anything specific. The one thing I do is I try not to compare any other year to another year or any organization I've been to with this organization of anything that nature. But I just think there's a level of focus here. There's a level of everybody having a common goal, working in the same direction towards that. And that never gets intertwined or never gets off path. Everybody always knows what to expect, what's expected of them. And each and every day we come in here and everybody's moving in the same direction.
Jason, Steph, when he talks very softly, doesn't say too much. What have you learned about him from being around him this year? What can you say about the job he's done?
He does his talking on the field and is very, very loud. As you can see throughout the course of this season, as a defense, we've leaned on him a lot to do a lot. And he's shown up each and every Thursday, Monday, or Sunday, whichever day, and has performed at peak levels. And like you said, he's a soft-spoken guy, but the more you talk to him, the more you get out of him. He's one of those type of guys, but he doesn't even let guys catch the ball and walk through. And that's kind of his mindset and his demeanor. He goes out there, he takes the field, and his one job is to shut whoever he's guarding down, and that's something that he's done on a week-in, week-out basis for us this season.
Now that you're a teammate of Rob Gronkowski's, what is maybe something you've learned about him that maybe you didn't know from just obviously not being on this team?
Robbie G. I won't say that I didn't know, but he's just as fun to watch from the outside as he is to be in the locker room. I remember it's probably OTAs or training camp. Him and Kenny Britt are in the locker room dancing to the point where there's sweat pouring off of them. And I just think that's his personality, and that's the personality, and that's the energy he brings. And each and every day, no matter whether it's after a win, after a loss, whatever's going on, you're going to get a big smile from him, and he's going to bring a ton of energy to the building. And I think sometimes you need that. Sometimes things aren't going to go your way. You're going to be down as a team, and you need those guys that pick everybody up, and seems as though nothing phases them, and they just come to work each and every day. And he's a guy throughout the season. He's battled back from injuries, whatever's gone on, and he shows up each and every day, and he's ready to work.
What do you remember from working with Greg Schiano outside the reference?
GS was a really, really good leader, man. He's a guy that taught me a lot, not only football-wise, but just things that you can take in life with you. So obviously, as a college kid, you go in, he's your head coach, recruits you, and I just remember him being a really good guy and a really good coach.
It looks like in the last two games, you talked about when the playoffs got around here, coming to work and how that was a new experience. It looks like you've been able to focus to play some of your best football. What are your feelings about going into this game now and, treating it like any other game, but also being able to play your best football in the Super Bowl?
Man, there's been so many different tidbits I felt like said throughout this process. And one thing Patrick Chung said to us kind of as a team and just individuals was it's just a game, and don't let it become too big. And I think we always hear about the playoffs, the Super Bowl, championship games, and we always build them up. And I think we don't need help realizing, the sense of urgency you need or how important the game is. We all know that. And I think just trying to relax yourself and remind yourself that it's a football game, and it's something that you've done for myself hundreds of times. You've taken the field, and I mean, maybe this time there's only one game on TV, and if somebody's watching football, it's that game. But you try to just focus on whatever your job is for the game, whatever the game plan is. And once it gets going, after the first hit, whatever it takes, now you're just playing football, and you're in the game, and you're on the sideline, you're talking, and now you're just in the flow of things.
Easier said than done for this game?
Without a doubt. You have to talk to me after this. I'll let you know how I handled it.
Brandon Cooks was here last year. You obviously weren't. What did you see in his game?
Oh, man. Same things you've seen since he's been in the league. I think he's gone for 1,000 yards every season he's been here, and that's just impressive because he's on his third team, and no matter where he's at, he's a walking 1,000 yards, and a guy that's extremely explosive, can get down the field, but can also run intermediate routes, can catch and run plays, catching the ball, getting up the field, breaking tackles. He's a guy that no matter what, on each and every play, you have to know where he's at because he can score from anywhere on the field.
How many T-shirts are you packing for the Super Bowl?
Ooh, you gotta have a different T-shirt for every day. I mean, the NFL kind of holds us back because every time we're in front of you guys at the Super Bowl, they make us wear their own licensed stuff. So I don't get to use my own creativity to come up with some really cool T-shirts. But however many days we're down there, I'll probably have a T-shirt each day.
How many do you have?
A lot. But the thing is, you buy some from Walmart, some from Target, some from Kohl's. You gotta be diverse. You know, keep it cheap. A lot of them you'll get 1, 2 for $10. You gotta find the deals and coupon codes online. So you find ways to amass a lot of them.
You don't have a guy that makes them for you?
Nah, this one was actually made because it's a little bit more specific. But sometimes my wife helps me out. But me and Dev, we bounce different ideas, different T-shirts. I may see him with one. It's hard now. Before I'd see him with a T-shirt, and I'd be like, I'm going to go get that. But we'd never cross paths. Now, you really can't be twins at 31 rocking the same T-shirt. So it makes it a little tough.
Do you have it mixed up in the wash, though? Like, his getting, yours?
He don't wash his clothes in these. That takes place at his own house.
What's your most expensive one? Do you have like a pride and joy?
No. This one was free. I just ordered some from Kohl's. I think those were 2 for $22. So can't spend a lot of money on a T-shirt. Once you wash it a few times, it just gets so dingy. But then it becomes vintage. So.
Jason, have you found yourself at all going up to Dev or like other guys in the locker room who have been to multiple Super Bowls being like, come on guys, like my bosses have been to like 5 Super Bowls, and I'm like, get excited, like let's go, like we're in the Super Bowl. Like, do you find yourself
I was just
doing
telling,
that to guys?
I was just telling Devin doing in the weight room, man. How excited are y'all? Like, we're going to the Super Bowl. We leave on Sunday, and they're like, calm down, man. Like, take it easy. But that's been my role this year. You know, I bring a different perspective, a different type of energy, a different journey, which brings a different outlook on things. So I'm embracing that. I can probably be annoying at times, but they love me. So.
Jason, what do you think of the defense's performance so far in the postseason, specifically in the second half?
The one thing I felt like we've done a good job is starting fast. You know, divisional round, conference championship, we've done a good job starting fast, getting off the field, getting the ball to our offense, and being able to get ahead. And I think that's been really beneficial. I think obviously the Chargers game, we weren't happy with the way we finished. We played well throughout that game and gave up too much in the fourth quarter. And I'd say the same in the Chiefs game. You know, we don't feel as though we finished the way we want to. We gave up some plays, and some of it you want to definitely be able to adjust better and be able to make more plays. And then at the same time, you understand it's playoff time and you're going against some really good opponents, and they're going to make adjustments. We just got to make our plays when they come. And at the end of the day, whenever you finish a game at this time of the year and you have more points than the other team, you're happy.